Hello, and welcome to the Real Estate Podcast. This is the Parenting on Fridays edition, May the 8th, 2020. I'm your host, Patrick Tabor, and today we want to ask the question, do you love your kids more than you do God? Stay tuned. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to answer this question. You don't want to think about it. You don't want this to be a part of your day. But truly, you need to know the answer. Do you love your kids more than you love God? It's really important that you find out. Because what do you think about when you get up in the morning? What do you think about when you go to bed? During the day, what do you think about? Who do you think about? Do you think about your wife? Do you think about your kids? Do you think about God? Who do you think about the most? Do you think about yourself the most? Well, I'm asking this question because how can you actually teach somebody something that you don't know yourself? How can you actually guide someone onto a path to follow when you've never walked it yourself? Luke 10:27 says, "And he answered, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." So here it is saying that we should put our all, 110%. We put 110% into the job or into a basketball game or some gaming event, online gaming events. People put so much effort and so much intensity into the things that they're doing. But the question is, do you love God like that? And the truth be told, your kids are going to see how you love God or how much you love God. And that will hinder or help them in their decisions to go after God 110%. If they see you going after him 110, it'll help them be more comfortable about going after him 110%. But if they see you as lackadaisical and you're not really praying or you're not seeking his face, you're not doing anything Christian-like, it's going to be hard for them to determine if that's even important. If you put them on a pedestal, if you pay attention to their every want and need, they're going to wonder, why do you need God? They have you. So we're supposed to love the Lord your God with all our heart. And at the end of that scripture, we're supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. So, we're supposed to love people. Don't get it wrong. We are supposed to show love and kindness to our spouses, our children, friends, family, acquaintances, co-workers, people we run into on the street, whoever. God requires us to show love. But if we show love, we just have to make sure we put in perspective or priority our love for him. Deuteronomy 6:5 says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. There it is again. That was in the Old Testament, where they told you the same thing. It's repetitive. We should love the Lord with all our heart. Now, we put our heart into so many other things in life, and we don't get half or even a quarter of the results we get from actually loving God. But you have to try it to find out. John 14:15 says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. People spend so much time trying to skirt and get out of what God asked us to do. And then we wonder why our children are having issues following orders or being obedient. Well, sometimes it is nature. It is we are born into sin, but sometimes it is the pattern of behavior that they watch, which is us. John 14:21 says, whoever has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. The best way to learn how to love, the best way to learn how to show love is to love the one that is love. And if you love him, it says here, if you keep his commandments, that shows that you love him. It is he who loves me, who loves me will be loved by my Father. So in that, you are going to be taught, loved, and cared for by the one who made heaven and earth, made everything. He will be in love with you. He will love you unconditionally. He already does, but the point I'm trying to make is that if you, who better to learn how to love people, especially people who are hard to love, than God? And if you really want to teach your kids something valuable, teach them how to truly love people unconditionally. The Bible talks about agape love, and I sometimes wonder if we're even capable, but the truth be told, we can do whatever God allows us to do and helps us to do. So if we learn how to love through Him, we can pass on that love to our kids, and then they will love others. It's like a multiplication factor. We talk about compound interest in finances. Well, look, this is compound love that we can actually pass on to our children, and then they'll pass it on to their children, and then their children. And then all the people that all of these children are connected to will be shown love also, because we have instituted what we should. Romans 5:8 says, "But God shows His love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." He showed us the ultimate love because He died when we were terrible. He died when we were evil. He died when we were doing crazy stuff. He loved us even when we don't understand how we could be loved. I hope you got something out of this today. Be blessed, grace, and peace.